Welcome, witches and warlocks, to this week's Tarotcast. Bum, bum, bum. I'm really blending in with the furniture today, aren't I? So, let's get into it, shall we? This week, for the collective, we have the World. Now, with the World card coming out for the collective, this is good news because we're working with the collective and we've got the World, which is to say that coming into that place of completion, the collective energy has gone through a state of healing, which hopefully is going to lift off a bit of tensions that we might be experiencing in different countries around the world with whatever's been going on with this pandemic and other local issues that have been happening. Hopefully this is going to ease things off a bit. It's going to allow us to breathe and feel a little bit alive before we start tackling the next obstacles. Next up, Aries. Last week you got the Wheel of Fortune. This week you have abundance. Now, last week being the Wheel of Fortune, this is to say that there was some fateful things happening, and I hope what came your way was actually good. And this is actually suggesting that what has come through was actually for your overall benefit, putting yourself into a place of abundance. Now, remember, when we do go into a place of abundance, we have to remember to put ourselves in a place of gratitude, even before we might actually be receiving that abundance, because gratitude is the highest energy, it's the highest frequency for receivership. So make sure you're sending out that message to the universe that you're already grateful and allow that abundance to come to you this week. Next up, we have Taurus. And Taurus, last week you have the World. This week, we have the Eight of Cups. Now Taurus, last week with the World card, this put us on easy street. This made us feel like we were in a place of completion and it allowed us some space to breathe. But now that we've got the Eight of Cups coming through, this is really asking us to reflect. Reflect on the things that maybe we've been working hard on, things that we've maybe been desiring and really been working towards. This is to say that maybe there's something there that hasn't quite been working out, and this card is asking you to maybe withdraw your attention from that area. It's time to turn around and leave that behind. We're ready to move on to new things, and before we can move on, we need to let something go. Something might not have been working out. Maybe you've been holding out hope for a job promotion. Maybe you've been holding out hope for that person to give you a call back for that second date. Either way, we need to let go, move on. Maybe we can approach it later on, but for now we need to just step away from that and give ourselves some more space. Gemini, last week we had the Hermit. This week we have the Ten of Wands. Gemini, the Ten of Wands is telling us that we're overburdened. Maybe we're getting to a place of burning out. This is the card representing the straw to break the camel's back. Last week, we did have the Hermit, so hopefully within this time you actually took that time to step away from the distractions, have some time for yourself and really reflect on where you are and what's going on in your life. And hopefully in that time, if you really absorb that energy of the Hermit, this can help you moving forward into the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is telling us we need to put something down. If we keep trying to do what we're doing, we're going to break our back. We're going to burn out. We're going to have to start prioritizing what can be done now, what can we manage, and what things are we simply going to have to let go. We're going to have to just let it go and abandon some kind of idea. Maybe if we're lucky enough, we can delegate it out to somebody else. Maybe there's someone there that can help us, but we're really going to have to look at our priorities. Where can we still put our attention, and where are we just going to have to let some things go? We don't want to collapse under the pressure. Cancer, last week you had strength. This week you have the Nine of Wands. Cancer, the Nine of Wands is saying that there's some unfinished business that needs to be addressed. This is the card of procrastination. It's not suggesting you do procrastinate, it's that you have been procrastinating. Now, if we've absorbed that energy from last week and really stepped into the Strength card, we found our inner strength, we've really connected to those emotions there, hopefully this will help us in the strength in finding what it is that needs to be done, the strength to step up and complete what needs to be done. Before, with Gemini, they have the Ten of Wands, and this one is to say that we need to address this unfinished business. We need to get these things done before it does start to pile up on us. So do start addressing what needs to be completed. What is it in your life that does need to be addressed? Don't let that pile up. Get it sorted out now. Leo, last week you had the Tower. This week you have the Four of Pentacles. So it seems like that tower process isn't completely over yet. It hasn't all come back down to bedrock. We haven't gotten back down to the foundations. It seems like we're still holding on to something, Leo. We need to ask ourselves, what is that? What are we really holding on so much that we're not allowing ourselves to actually destroy the old and let the new come through? There might just be that one last thing. So we need to remember during this time that we need to start addressing our attachments. What are we too attached to? Maybe this could be possessions, this could be relationships. Remember, if we do hold on to some things too tight, we can either, if they're people, we can smother them with too much of attention and they'll run away from us. If it's our possessions, then it becomes an overburden and we just become a hoarder. So we may have to start stripping a few things, start looking at what we have around us. What have we got too much of? What are we dealing with? So let go of those last few things and allow that tower to get back to bedrock and get back to the foundations. Virgo, last week you got the Magician. This week you have the Magician. Virgo, you've got some big things coming your way. You don't get the Magician 2 times in a row if you don't have that power of manifestation just shining through right now. I mean, last week for the collective we had that healing energy of the star and now we're in the world. So something's telling me that maybe you've got a big hand in what's going on right now. So really work with that collective energy here, you know, that manifestation energy. You keep working with this. This is to say that maybe if things still haven't come through, it is well on its way. There is some big energy coming through. You've got all the tools at your disposal. Keep yourself in that high vibrational energy. Keep that gratitude coming through, because remember, like I said earlier, we need to keep gratitude coming through if we want to tell the universe to give us even more. So we've got manifestation coming through big here, guys. Libra, last week you had the High Priestess. This week you have the Ace of Wands. So Libra, this week we're starting something new, and this is something for our passions. This is something for our creativity, okay? This is about really finding that fire inside and really lighting that spark and allowing things to grow. This is going to be a new cycle going forward. Last week, having the High Priestess, this should have connected us a lot to our intuition, receiving messages from the great beyond. This should allow us to actually be putting us on a bit more of a light path, coming through with this Wands energy coming through. So we want to start looking at things, asking ourselves, what is it we truly passionate about? What is it that we want to bring into this world and create? Because this is to say that we've got something fun, perhaps even moving forward. Scorpio, last week you had the Hierophant. This week you have the Knight of Cups. Scorpio, the Knight of Cups really wears his heart on his sleeve, okay? He really knows what he loves and he's not afraid to express what he loves. Last week with the Hierophant, this is to suggest that we had some kind of a mentor perhaps coming through. Maybe we were understanding where we were in society. And now going forward, this has given us a lot of energy, a lot of emotions ready to put out there to the rest of the world. Of course, being the Knights, they do come with a bit of a warning. The Knight tends to never be happy, never be content with what he has. He's always looking for the greener grass on the other side. So do be careful when the Knights pop up. Do allow that energy of the Knight of Cups to express your emotions, put them out there, wear your heart on your sleeve, but do be careful that you don't fall into that trap of being like you need to move on to something else. Find something better. Perhaps you have something here right now that you should be grateful for and you should be putting your energy into. Sagittarius, last week you had the Chariot. This week you have the Three of Wands. Sagittarius, the Three of Wands is almost like the minor arcana version of the Chariot. So this is to say that we're still moving forward. We're still needing to put those steps one after another into what it is we desire. Previously in the Two of Wands, this one's about daydreaming and thinking about where it is we want to go in our life. And this one is about making those actions, making those plans, writing them down. How are we going to achieve those goals? We have to start the wheels turning. We got to start turning the gears. Okay, so you haven't quite gotten a roll going yet. This is to say that we still need to keep planning things out if we want to move forward. Capricorn, last week you got the Judgment card. This week you have the Hierophant. So Capricorn, it seems like there's been a lot of reflection going on with the Judgment card, and now that we're moving on to the Hierophant, we're really starting to understand where your place is in society this week. We're really understanding like the hierarchical structures, where we are in these institutions, understanding who are the mentors that are above you and who are those that are below you that actually look up to you, and where do your responsibilities lie. There's some big energy moving through here. Now, you might have the chance of actually finding a mentor. It might be good for you to find a mentor to actually improve what you have, but also understand that if there is somebody that is looking up to you as the Hierophant, as the mentor, you do need to step up. And the fact that we actually had the Judgment card last week, this is putting you in an even better place, that you've had that time to reflect and you can actually pass on those messages even better now. Aquarius, last week you got the Sun card. This week you have Strength. So with the Sun card last week, putting you in a place of positivity, allowing you to bring through a lot of joy, this is putting you in an even stronger place to actually find that strength within. Now with the Strength card coming through, let's not forget, the Strength allows us to show to others and show to ourselves that we can achieve what we want to achieve through the compassion and being kind. We don't have to really force things, okay? We're not forcing an outcome. We're using things like love. We're using things like compassion and forgiveness. And forgiveness in particular can be a very difficult one, but that is a situation of self-care. So it takes a lot of strength sometimes to get to those places. But moving forward, this one is going to be really helpful for you. Pisces, last week you had Temperance. This week you have the Four of Cups. Okay, Pisces, what's up? Last week we had to deal with our ability to give and receive in abundance, and now we've got the card of apathy, the card that we feel like we've had a bit too much, the card that maybe we've either been dealing with a bit too much of our own problems or other people's problems, or we've just been dealing with the world around us. Now, this is to say this might be putting us in a place where we're a little bit grumpy, that we're not quite happy with how things are going. And look, these kind of emotions, they're okay, they're natural, but we do want to be careful that we don't actually lash out on the world around us, because other people are still going about their lives. Some people might even be reaching out to you. They might even be trying to offer you help, and you're just not in that space to receive it. So just be aware that if things around you feel like they're just not right, we need to look within ourselves. There's that space of apathy. Take that time. We need to continue healing. Take some time to rest. So that's this week's Tarotcast. Remember to tune in next week. And guys, don't be shy. Hit that like button. Share this with your friends. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Love and light, guys. Have an amazing week. Ciao.